Are you guys able to hear me now? I'm so sorry about that. I forgot that my headset wasn't working. Nice. Oh my god, I'm like every single time I keep like forgetting that it's not working. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. So this was Jupiter Plinit's character. They won the OC art raffle. um we did like a wheel spin, and they come up and their character Janina Drakmia was the one that was picked, so that's what we're gonna do here. um I think she might be like, I don't even remember if there was lore for this or not, if she was like a vampire or whatnot, but I know it seems from these reference images that were posted here that she has a sword, and it looks like she has flame powers. So I did a initial sketch last night, like super rough, of her activating the sword. Maybe someone has challenged her, and she's like, "Oh, you want to play?" That kind of thing. Since I don't know too much else about the character here. So yeah, we are going to also. I'll be putting up a post soon for the next raffle. You guys can either resubmit your OCs, or you can just let me know on Twitter if you want me to just, keep the OCs that you already submitted in the raffle, so they get a shot. We also, of course, I would like to get more people involved so we can get some more OCs in there, and that way we can get like more people a chance to have their OC drawn. So that aside, let's go ahead and start working on this here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick parts of the sketch in a folder here, and I'm going to lower the opacity, and we'll start cleaning it up, actually working on it. So let's do a sketch folder. That'll be sketch, and I like to make those purple. Let's do some labeling here of things. This is a completely blank layer that I don't need. I might as well go ahead and just merge this stuff, because we're going to be drawing over top of it anyway.
Nympha_VT just subscribed.
Oh, thank you, Nympha. I appreciate it. That's very, very helpful. I really, really appreciate it. I'm glad that you like my content enough to join the subscription family here. So I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully you're getting some value out of my streams here, and some entertainment. So, alrighty. So let's see. Let's lower this down. Oh yeah, and I'd come up with this like crazy like fire background like kind of sketch, but I wasn't sure if it was like too busy or not. So we'll revisit that when it comes to it here. Nice. Yeah, I'm super excited like to get like more subs and whatnot. So and get some more people in here to hang out, have a good time. Alright, as you can see here, I used Clip Studio's 3D model option for a base here. So we'll be doing some adjustments based on that as well. I also have a ton of reference images up here, because even using these 3D models is nice. You still want to use actual hell yeah. Hey, that's the idea. I'm glad it appeals to you. And I apologize if I smack my mic at all during this, because I don't have an arm for my Yeti, and it is in a place where my elbow might smack it. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Yeah. The whole idea of me creating this channel was to bring all the other creatives together and make sure that everybody has a good time, everybody feels confident, I'm happy about like what they do as an artist. You know what? We're gonna make this actually easier on ourselves here. We're gonna do that. Yeah, I noticed just from like interacting with like people on like Twitter and whatnot, that there was a lot of like uncertainty and a lot of like, people were very like negative. A lot of people had like a lot of issues with imposter syndrome. So the idea is to try to fix that and get people to have more confidence in what they do and like really value the fact that they have this amazing gift of being able to create artwork. So let's see here. Let me get like a good neck shot here. Probably more up here. There we go. Oh yeah, it does. One of the things that helped me overcome imposter syndrome, of course, is I actually wasn't aware that I had like ADHD, and I had all sorts of like anxiety like issues, and I finally got medication for it. Of course, I'm not a medical professional, so I'm not giving you guys like medical advice here. Nobody sue me. But from my experience, being medicated for things like ADHD and anxiety, you're like super. It like cleared my mind up basically to all the clutter that was going on that was giving me like the issues with imposter syndrome. It's just kind of crazy that something like that has like just such a big effect on how you feel. Oh yeah, yeah. I also started watching a ton of like YouTube tutorials and whatnot, trying to yes, yes. So I need to actually get back into that. I have been like really dropping the ball on weightlifting myself, which is important to do. Keeping your body fit so you can continue to do artwork is like a great example of how to build confidence in yourself. You're absolutely right. I'm actually, I'm not any kind of young either, so I really need to get back into it. I'm definitely like way over the weight that I'm comfortable with being at the moment, so it'd be fine if I was like super beefcake, but right now I'm not. But we're about to have a different coming up soon. I'll probably be taking like a week or so off because I'm actually going to be moving. So hopefully I'll be in a better situation where I can start exercising again. At least at the very least, start like doing going on like walks or something, and stretching on the regular, that kind of thing. Also, I like weightlifting like a lot. Like I get really into it for like a couple months, and then something always happens where like I either get really sick or like I go too hard and I hurt myself, and then I get like derailed, and I'm like, son of a bitch. And then the cycle begins again. Oh my god, I can't draw a curve to save my life here. Speaking of confidence. Just need to know where the top of that freaking head is. You know what? We also have tools for this. So instead of doing the line over and over again, I can just utilize the tools at hand. It's like Clip's got all sorts of good, like, tools to help with that. Oh, I admire your patience to be able to do it traditionally. Like, traditional artists are like, you know, they're your everyday heroes in my opinion. Like, I have so much respect for traditional art because I absolutely do not have the patience for it. I also like, I don't know, like I stopped doing traditional art because like art supplies got really really expensive, like ridiculously so. Oh, yeah, no, me too. I've been wearing glasses for a while. I actually really like my glasses. I feel weird without them now. People are like, "Why don't you get contacts?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't like the idea of like shoving things like into my eyeballs like that. But at the same time, like I feel like the glasses are nice and stylish, so I think we're gonna do this one a little bit more anime for the sake of you know, being able to get it done on stream. One of my biggest problems with art is I always like over I get overly ambitious with projects like this. So that's what we're gonna do. What we're gonna shoot for is actual, just like an anime style here. I mean, it's gonna have like some of the elements of like how my own style, but I was thinking it would be better and easier to finish if I have it anime style. Oh yeah, I found this playlist when we were driving back from Havoc's family's house. I was like, hell yeah. So this character has like really unique eyes as well. According to this sheet here, we want to make sure we keep coming back and refer to it. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Yeah, it's like almost like one is like kind of like a star, and then this one's almost kind of like a minus here. It's pretty cool. And she has distinct eyelashes, so I want to make sure that I still preserve the design of the character. So we're gonna kind of just add some eyelashes in here. And let's add some thickness into them a little bit here. Thank you. Yeah, sometimes I do line work like this, and then sometimes I do where it's like a little bit more painterly, where I go in with like the values, and then after it, I add in a little bit of like detail with like line work. But I learned a lot of my line work technique. I learned from this artist Mark Burnett on YouTube. I'll probably bring him up a lot because he is like a big inspiration basically for my artwork, and really helped me with my art journey. So, oh yeah, for the most part, like I did. Okay, so I've taken art every year I could in high school. Well, from elementary school all the way through high school, I took as many art courses as I could. Honestly, art teachers in high school aren't really all that helpful with teaching you stuff because they always have this weird quirk where they like one specific thing and they want you to just focus on that, and I hate it because it's usually like what are they called, not oil pastels, but what is that? Yeah, like there's some type of like chalky, awful pastels they always want you to use on this giant piece of paper, and I'm like, this is not fun. This is not what I want to do at all. But anyway, so from there, I did eventually go. I went briefly to the Art Institute of Washington, um, which I was not ready for like the college life like whatsoever. Um, so I ended up not really going to class and whatnot, like a lot. So I was 18 at the time, so I was just like I was not ready for college. But I've been consistently drawing since I was like very very young. Um, like my first drawings were so back in the day when you bought a NES game, a Nintendo Entertainment System game, they came with instruction booklets, and those instruction booklets had the characters for the game in it. Um, and I love Mega Man, so Mega Man was like my first real introduction to drawing characters. So, which was great because like Mega Man characters have those like they're all made out of like those like spears and orbs and cylinders, so it was like a really really good you know foundation for artwork. Sorry, I'm gonna cheat here on these eyes. Just because for the sake of time here, I don't want to like take up like way too much time here. I want to actually get this done, hopefully on this stream. And again, the tools are here for me to use them, so I'm going to use them. what we'll do is we'll do this. And, we're going to flip back and forth too, just to make sure that this character isn't cross-eyed with the way that I did this. In fact, let me go ahead and give it a flip, and I think the angle needs to be adjusted. But yeah, for the most part, I'm self-taught. The probably the best art advice I did get as far as like school goes is I actually had one really good art teacher in middle school, and he introduced me to Prismacolor pencils, which are amazing because they blend like paint. Actually, that makes it look like her eyes are going two different directions here. Let me fix this. Yeah, they're awesome. So what I was doing in middle school a lot is I was really into like not only like anime uh, but also like American comics at the time. Like I was like obsessed with like Spawn and like Spider-Man and like Jim Lee style comic book art. So I would draw things in pencil lightly first, and then I would go over it with these fine liner pens called micron pens, and then I would color them in with my colored pencils, and it was really fun. The only like they're nice, but they also stop working super quickly, and they're expensive. So yeah, I stopped doing traditional art because like going to the store to get new supplies was like just so incredibly expensive. Oh, nice. All right, face is looking pretty good here. We're gonna go ahead and bring that back like that. We're gonna flip it both directions just to make sure it looks good both ways. I think it looks all right now. Might take this head a little bit. Kind of do this number just a bit. And then we'll bring this one in a little bit here. Maybe out that way. There we go. I think that looks better proportion wise. Thanks. Yeah, like I kind of assume that this character is maybe like some sort of vampire from the name. I mean, Drakmia sounds very vampire like. So I'm gonna give her some fangs going on here, just some really subtle ones. Oh, looks like we might have some ads coming up here. So you guys let me know if the ads start rolling, and I'll take a break and stop yapping for a bit. All right, I'm standing up straight and get some water now. Oh, I keep forgetting to add the save reminder on there as well. Yeah, thanks. If we can get this. Oh my goodness. Try not to make her like too like beefy. I definitely have to do some pivoting because I'm working on a commission for Pensy, and they wanted their character to be like muscle mommy. So I'm trying not to just make muscle mommy here. Not that there's anything wrong with that by any means. I just don't. I just think that doesn't really fit this character. So we want to make sure we flip just to make sure things are still looking good here. We're gonna bring the breast area down a bit here because I think these 3D models don't really. Yeah, I mean, if he wanted to do like a maybe like a Fist of the North Star kind of like manga style or something like that, like I could see that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it has to like definitely like fit. Oh, it was a One Piece reference. Gotcha. Yeah, a lot of One Piece characters, like even the big guys, are generally not really that muscular. Unless it's like of course, like Zoro's like super muscular for obvious reasons. Hmm. Oh yeah, and Smoker's pretty muscular too. But a lot of the characters are very like they're extremely stylized. So let's see if I can actually draw some boobas here. Oh yeah. Yeah, Oda's awesome. So, funny story is I actually used to be like a really big like art snob and I used to hate like One Piece's art style when I first saw it. But now I absolutely love it. Like I saw the Sabity punch where he punches the celestial dragon into manga and I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." Yeah, exactly. Well, it just fits really well like once you really like start reading the story and you start like understanding. Oh my god, you should. Like I know it seems really daunting, but the best way in my opinion to get into it is to just read the manga cuz it's a lot faster. It's worth it though. It's really good. Um or if you do want to watch the anime, there are actual whole arcs that they've done like OVAs. where they've just like combined them all together, like Alabasta and like a lot of the different like arcs in the story are. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Oh, I love Demon Slayer. I love anything UFO Table does because they're just amazing. Again, not trying to make her too muscular here, but still trying to get the anatomy right. We just want like the illusion that the the muscles are in the right place. So like the tricep actually, when the arms are raised, comes out behind the lats. So you have the lats here, and then the yeah. I'm also not an expert at anatomy yet either, so I think I need to flip it this way to get it right. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna start this line over. Oh yeah, yeah. Action comics, you really like anatomy's like a big aspect of it. So Marpernet actually has like a an online art course that is like pretty much like equivalent basically to like to going to art school, and he's also been a worked in like the games like industry. I was thinking about picking it up at some point because it's only like $300 for like the whole course, which is crazy. It's like it's so cheap for what it is. Oh yeah, I mean it's a lot for me too. But considering like the cost of going to like actual college is insane. So oh yeah, but I mean he has tons of like a lot of the stuff that he teaches. He also has on YouTube for free. They're just like condensed versions of them. Let's see, can we draw boobas? Oh my god, this line is like not happening for me here. Hold on. Try not to make them super round because they aren't super round in real life. They're more of like a teardrop kind of shape. Even though they are going to be supported from the dress here. But yeah, as far as like art style goes, like I basically just kind of observe things that I like different like anime, comics, video game characters, and then I try to adjust that to like like my own, adapt it into my own like style, the way I like to do things. So yep. Yep, reference and practice. Well, that's one of the things that's kind of crazy about like say like if you're trying to stream or if you're trying to do like artwork for like a comic and stuff, and your time itself is very limited. So it's like I know I should be practicing like a lot of these things like without like say the help of like these like 3D models or whatever. Um, but it's like I'm on such a time crunch like all the time that it's difficult for me to find time to practice them otherwise. And honestly, like using like anything that can help you, especially when like making like a comic, is gonna be like any sort of like time saving, because it's just so there's just so much time involved that it takes. Like right here, I probably won't even draw like all these fingers because they are some of them are going to be in front and back of the sword here. So what I usually do is I don't even do artwork while watching the videos. I watch um I watch the videos either when I'm about to go to like right before I go to bed, or like say while I'm like eating. Like I always put on a YouTube video when I'm eating. Um and from there, like for some reason my brain just tends to log the information better that way. I guess because it's like a non like stressful like environment kind of thing. Oh yeah. I mean, one of the things that yeah, one of the like cuz like my ultimate goal is to create a studio and recruit like all the the artists through all the connections I made through like social media and streaming and that kind of thing. Give all these artists like the chance they deserve to shine. So I want to like make a studio too that does not like how a lot of like big studios like kind of suppress like creativity, and they just want to do things that they think are like you know they're thinking more about it as like a business than they are like necessarily like a creative endeavor. Well, I mean, it not necessarily like streamers. Like, I mean, personally, I'm very big on hygiene, so I definitely I shower a lot. Like, that would actually be something like with my employees. I'd be like, "Yo, you fucking stink. Could you please like go take a shower?" Like, Like hygiene is super super. Oh my god, yeah. Like you actually have to like become accustomed to like the con stank, like which is really sad. It sucks because I love cons, but then again, like I haven't been to a con since COVID, because like literally everybody I know that goes to a con like comes back with like COVID. So I'm just like, I've had COVID once and it was the worst experience of my life. So I was like, I'm not even gonna chance this. Like, make sure we're flipping back and forth here. I always have trouble with like the elbow area for some reason. Hell yeah! How's Monster Hunter going for you, Fancy? Oh yeah. So like my wife who also streams Demon Lord Havoc, she is a writer, so it's just me and her as far as like the webtoon and whatnot and all the projects we're working on. So hell yeah, Fancy. I'm so jealous. I want to play it so bad. It would like kill my productivity, that's for damn sure, because I am a fiend when it comes to Monster Hunter games. I love Monster Hunter so much. Oh my god, I've got this stupid goal successfully started. Like, Havoc is the coolest. I am super lucky to have such an amazing wife. Eh, I think if I do it like this. All right, I'm pretty happy with this so far. Yeah, so I actually played since the very original one. So in the OG Monster Hunter, you didn't. So your attack buttons weren't actually buttons; they were the two sticks in the middle of the PlayStation controller, and you had to flick them in different directions in order to do like the attacks. And like Great Sword didn't have like a charge at all at the time in the beginning. It was just like you just swung it around like a madman. And also like the graphics were like super crusty. Oops. I always will have a lot of trouble with like the shape of the legs too for some reason. Like I want her to have kind of like thicker thighs here, which doesn't look like I'm achieving that. But I'm also like trying not to mess up like the anatomy part of it. I don't know. That's definitely like one of the things I really need to work on is the anatomy of like the leg. Even though a lot of this is going to be covered up, like it's always good to draw the anatomy underneath. That way you know how the clothes should interact on top of it. Oh yeah, for sure. Like I'm not even like blondes aren't even like my thing at all, and she is smoking. Gemma is definitely like chef's kiss. Like they knew what they were doing to get people to play this game. Gemma's abs are MVP of Monster Hunter. The new handler is also super adorable. I just can't get the right leg shape here. See if I have any references available to help. No, not at all. You totally don't like girls that, you know. I don't know what you're talking about, Pensy. Who would spread such slander about you? Point them out to me. All right, looks like we're doing pretty good here. And we're not really going to be seeing this too much here, so we're just going to we'll just kind of put some like one of these numbers. Just to kind of yeah, just something like that. We don't really need to define that too much since it's going to be under the dress. This is where I think the 3D models get a little funky sometimes, is with like the hands. That knuckle does not need to be like that ridiculous here. Granted, hands are like my absolute like nemesis as far as artwork, and I know that's like for every artist ever. It is one of my greatest weaknesses that I need to work on. But hopefully nobody's going to be zooming in on this part, so we're not going to worry about that too much. We're just going to hope and pray that nobody decides to take a real hard look at the hands here. I'm actually going to make some of these lines a little less bold for that purpose, even though they are coming forward, so they should actually be more bold. I think this sword is actually going to be one of the most difficult parts here. Let me see if I can use a ruler here to get this right. Can I not? I want to rotate this, and will it let me? Okay, that's the wrong ruler. I know there's a perspective ruler, but oh, here we go. This might help. I don't know what this special ruler does, to be honest with you. I'm hoping it'll help me, though. Oh, it's not even on the right layer here. Alright, let's see if it'll let me do what I want it to do. Oh, now it's not even in the hand. Let's bring that up. You know, we're not going to use that, because I think that's going to mess it up if I do this. All right, we are back. Hope you guys had a chance to, maybe stretch, get some water, that kind of thing. So basically, what I did is I finished up what we're going to do for the body lines here. I duplicated the lines layer. I gave it a little bit of a blur on a multiply layer. And then I selected the outside, inverted it, and we've got our base for where all of our colors will be clipped to. So now I need to work on where the dress is going to be. So let's see. I know that the dress has like a big slit like up the side here. Thanks. So I had a bunch of references here. I just want to make sure that I'm looking at it right here. So yeah, it comes up like pretty much like about the hip area. We're going to take a little bit of probably like creative liberties with the dress here because I kind of like these little like things on the side here. But so what I need to do is I think I need to reverse this to get an idea. This leg is coming forward and this leg's coming forward. So we'll get kind of like the flow here. And then of course some of the dress is going to be behind the leg there. And it seems like it kind of does maybe like that number there. Like I said, we're not doing this like one-to-one with the references, but we kind of want to use them just to like get an idea. And we don't want to do too many lines here either to designate because of the rule of thirds. We're going to use a lot of our when we color, we're going to use our values to take care of a lot of that. So we got that. And then kind of goes like that. Oh, yes, I need to do that. You are correct. Thank you so much. I will definitely do that. I'll do that at the end of the stream here. I'm going to make this a little more like dynamic though with some of the lines here. Just so we get like a flow like up towards the subject area, which is up at the top here. Yeah, I don't know why. I get really bad and I forget to post it for some reason. Even though it's like an important stream. We're gonna have it follow the curve of the leg here, just for the sake of, well, you know what, that's okay. We can actually do a layer behind this, like with the I'll just have to keep that in mind when I go to do like my selections. And we're also still keeping this like somewhat anime, so it's going to be a little bit simplified anyway. And let's see, do I have one where the chest goes all the way across? I mean, I guess this is close. But I know that the actual character doesn't have any straps going on as far as their dress. It's kind of just held up. Like I said, we're gonna take some liberties here, so hopefully they're okay with that. Oh yeah, you should. Well, this dress is kind of hard to see because it's black. But essentially, we kind of just need to have just some indicator a little bit. That's pretty much it. We don't need anything like super crazy because we can do that with the values when we color it. So let's see if it'll let me do what I want, and it looks like it's going to. Invert. Put this over the body lines. We're gonna pick a darker gray. And we gotta cut out where the legs are. I don't know if I like these lines on here either. So what we'll do is we'll just use values there when we get into it. Oops, wrong there. And let's cut away. Can I get in there selected? Yes, I can. And there. All right. And I think what I want to do is then we're going to take it and we're going to bring it in just a little bit here at the waist. I'm going to bring it out up here. Like that. And then I know she has some, the reference, she has some like lacy shorts underneath, so we're also going to make sure that we add that. Yeah, because you can see it right here that she's got like lacy shorts. So let's go ahead and get that going. I want to make sure I'm also including all the elements of the character. Because it's not my character. I don't want to be rude. Like, we're going to take some liberties here and there, but they're not going to be like extreme. I don't really know where the band would necessarily be, but this is going to be covered up, so we're not going to worry about it too much. And since this is going to be like, you know, in a more anime style here, we're just going to do like some like real basic, you know, kind of like they have it here for the lace part. try to keep these like best I can around the same size, but still have them follow like the curve. We could always use our liquefied tool to make sure that it's like, you know, follows the right shape. And let's see, we'll do like, maybe we'll just do some like really basic like diamonds, something like that. You know, we don't want this to be super complex here because we want to be able to, you know, just kind of get through this quickly so the next person can get their chance to get their OC drawn as well. I always say that, but I will probably go overboard at some point with this because I have no chill ever. Yeah, I always go overboard. It usually takes more than one stream, even if I planned it to be like, you know, a single stream. Cool. Grabbing some water. Am I doing this all in the wrong layer? Oh my god, I am. That's. I was wondering why it was freaking coming up gray. Son of a bitch. Okay. Right. We can fix this. We can fix this. It's fine. Everything's okay. What we're gonna do is, rather than redo all of that, we're gonna duplicate this, and we're gonna erase the stuff we don't need in the duplicate. My god, I can't believe I did that. Freaking hate it when I do that. You know what? There's actually an easier way to do this. This. Oh, wait. Shit, this is the one that's supposed to... What did I do wrong here? You know what? Whatever. We're going to keep rolling with what we're doing. And hopefully it's fine. Oh my god. It's the part of the stream where Aniki starts making mistakes. As I always do. It is certainly always an inevitable thing that happens. So let's bring that back up. And then... Let's see... Let's bring that all the way up, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna do this. So one of these layers needs to not have these lines on it. Wait, hold on, what am I doing? Okay, so I think it's this one. There we go, that's better. And I also don't, well, I don't really need this line either. Oops, that is, okay, so what we'll do is, let's do that. Oh my god, it's all falling apart. My carefully thought out process is crumbling beneath in my hands as we speak. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So then that should be separate then. Nice. There we go. Okay. We're Gucci. Ooh, it's starting to get warm in here too. Go ahead. Do that. So I'm a little more comfortable. So can Aniki consistently draw diamonds? Sometimes the answer is no. Alright, and I definitely want this below that layer. We're gonna do our little trick here. That and Gaussian blur. Now let's do the same for the dress lines. Go. Let's put that in a folder. So that'll be dress lines. Yeah, trying to keep track of layers sometimes, like, you know, eventually, like, after I, like, render the dress, I'm gonna have to go through and cut out, like, this hand here to make sure it's, like, over top of everything. So this will be dress colors. This will be base. It's like having layers is like is a double-edged sword. Like, you know, it's a lot of like management and organization, but like it's a really powerful way to be able to go back and edit things and not have to worry about like completely redoing everything here. So let's do lace shorts. Oh, let's put that as the line so I know exactly what it is. Do that. And is there anything on this layer? There doesn't appear to be. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get an even darker gray here, and I'm just gonna kind of do this, and then I'll cut the diamonds out. It looks like we got some overlap from the dress here, so I'll have to go through and clean that up in a bit. I just got some sort of Windows noise. What the hell is that? Dismiss. Go away. You are not going to mess things up again here, Windows. I swear to God. We will fight. I will go to Microsoft headquarters and I will be a problem. Alright, we have our base for that. So let's see, let's put that in a folder too. And I need to do a layer behind all this, of course, with the back of the dress. Do that. And just fill that in. Also put that in a folder and label it. Now I do sometimes do different techniques where I do the clothes where I don't do line work. What I do is I just do like the shape of the clothes and I turn on the outline option on the layer. But I'm not going to do that at this time because I want it to all be pretty cohesive, like visually. But that's a different way to do things. You can do hair like that. You can do clothing like that. Alright, so the next piece that we have here is this boa jam, which is pretty hot in my opinion. And I'm going to turn down the opacity on the dress here so we can kind of see where we need to draw the boa. And what I think I'm going to do with this one is I am actually going to take this tool here. We're just going to use this to get like the basic shapes of what we're going for, and then I'll do some line work over top of it. This is just a way to kind of, you know, make it like flow so it's not like so stiff. I need to get a little looser with it actually. That. Then we can also use our liquefied tool here to kind of give it some volume. Make sure that it's like looks right. Yeah, I like that. And then some of it comes over the arm here. So we're gonna get like some, we're gonna get the basics and blobs first. Kind of like that. Now we can start doing our little details. This also probably would be like a lot easier with like a custom brush, but you know what? We're gonna put in the work. It'll be fine. I'm gonna start maybe doing it like this and then adding some detail as I go. You know, we don't want to make it look like too uniform. Easier said than done. Let's start doing this more willy-nilly here. Trying to get some like little overlaps here and there. go. That looks pretty good. Oop. Yeah, I was shrimping. You caught me. I was like hella leaned over there. Alright, let's kind of try to make this look dynamic, like it's flowing here. I think we're gonna pinch some parts of it, like as it's going back. Yes, I need to save. I'm gonna do that in just a sec here. You are absolutely right. Let's make this a bit bigger. There we go, and then we'll flip it. So I think that's looking pretty good. Go ahead and save. Alright, let's get this one going now. So it's kind of like this number to start with. Kind of try to get a flow for it real quick. Oops. Maybe let's bring it in a little bit and then kind of like that. Then we'll start adding our as much as I like characters with boas, like I never really draw them, so this is good practice. Also, it's Smegsy. Try to make this somewhat random at least. Also kind of showing some gravity at the same time. It's gotta kind of make sense at least a little bit. Up a little bit like that, up a little bit. Let's kind of, we'll do flip back and forth because that'll also help us like kind of get that randomness going from both directions. You know, if you're doing digital artwork, you definitely want to flip fairly often just to make sure that things are looking good from both directions. I get super sad when I like forget to flip and then I flip it and I'm like, oh my god, what is this monstrosity I've created? Hey, that's a good idea. Like for traditional art, like I know like I'll go back and I'll look at like my old artwork and I'll be like, man, I had like I couldn't figure out a way to like see how it looked from either directions. Dropping the knowledge over here, Sally. I like it. I think Pensy does a really good job with that traditionally too. Like a lot of their drawings, I don't see any sort of like what looks like issues with it. Like if you were to flip it. So I'm always proud and impressed by all the traditional artists that just kill it on the regular. what what Picasso did I make? Oh yeah, I'm sure if like I had actually like stuck with like traditional art as like my main medium, I probably would have figured something out eventually, or I would have watched like a TikTok or a YouTube or something, and they'd be like, "Here's a way to check your art," and the AI TikTok voice, and I've been like, "Oh, yeah, my eyes aren't great either." I have a stigmatism, and I'm farsighted in both my eyes, so like things are like I have a lot of trouble like lining things up, making sure things are like straight, that they actually like look proportionate. I lose my place all the time when I'm reading. I'm like, wait a minute, this sentence doesn't make sense, and then I looked and I saw that I'm on a completely different line than I was reading or initially. Oh yeah, yeah, that's how you learn everything. It's just it's all like trial and error basically.
You hungry?
Yes, I am hungry. So I think the way that this is going today is we're gonna get like all the basic parts blocked out essentially and like drawn, and then I'll have to continue this, uh, you know, on another stream. But that's okay. We got pretty far, and I'm really happy with it so far. And if like Jupiter happens to like show up to like our like the art share stream or something, I'll show them like the progress so they can hopefully be excited for it. Not to mention one of the best like art tips I think I ever got was like, hey, when you think that you're done with something, always make sure that you take time like away from it, like whether it's like an hour, whether it's a half an hour, to just not look at it and then come back and look at it, because then you'll always spot things after the fact. Save. And there should be a little bit like actually behind it all, so we're gonna do that too. Let me get this and put it in a folder. Yep. That, and then we'll do the rear part of the boa here, so we'll make sure that it's like flowing from behind. Like we're not going to see a whole heck of a lot of it, but we kind of want to make sure that there's some detail anyway. That. And you know how I said I wasn't going to do the turn on the lines thing? I think I'm going to do that with the boa, because the boa is, that's a lot of line work, so. I might have told a slight fib. I could always go back later and change this, of course. Let's make the lines nice and thin. Hey, how's it going? I'm glad you made it. I was, you know, if you didn't make it today, I was gonna show you, you know, how far I got, like when we do the art share stream. So I wouldn't leave you out of your own character being drawn here. So. All right, let's turn the dress back up for now. Save. So let's get the hair going here. Oops, I just realized that the body lines aren't filled in all the way here, like the colors. Let's go ahead and fill that in. Or we missed it. The head there. Some of this finger. This goes out a little bit. There we go. It's okay. Hey, either way is totally cool. I hope it looks good so far. Sure, I save here. All right, let's get this hair going. Oh, it's okay. No worries. I totally get it. I'm not gonna lie, after every single stream, I go and I take a nap. So don't feel bad about being tired. This old man needs to nap pretty often. I think I need to move this down already because I think it's that'll give her a massive fucking forehead and I don't want to do that. Hopefully I'm doing your character some justice here. Oops. That is not what I want. I want to erase. See, make sure I keep looking at the reference here. All right, nice. I just continued because, I'm trying to make some progress on this. I would like to at least finish up, like, most of the basics here so we can, eventually move on to, like, the shading and the coloring and whatnot. I definitely want to make sure, like, the face and the hair is, like, super, like, pretty. Mm. It's always fun trying to figure out the flow, especially with, like, line work. It's a little bit more difficult. Hmm. Let's see. And a lot of this is going to be covered up, of course, by stuff in the foreground here. I just want to, like, kind of, like, draw out the, like, shapes so I know where it is. And then I can, like, erase away where we don't need it. Again, I'll probably make some, like, major adjustments to this after I step away from it for a little bit and come back to it. So. I just want to kind of capture that, like, there's a lot of motion in the hair because she's going to be activating the fire on the sword here, and that should cause the hair to move around a bit, at least in my mind. Let's actually do maybe this in front. Thank you, my love. You're amazing. You know, we'll figure out this line later. Yeah, I think this is the last thing we're gonna do here is we're just gonna kind of, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna like establish the hairlines, and then next time I'll pick up with, you know, cleaning them up, making sure that like we have different like line weights and stuff, and it makes sense. Because I want the hair in particular to be like really pretty, so you know, I'm getting a little fatigued here, honestly. So if I keep working on it, it might just look like Garbo. So that's not what we want. Cat is freaking out.
Oh. What are you doing, buddy?
for the sake of it, we're just gonna connect it down here, even though it's not gonna be that in the final. So let's see if we can get an outside at least of the selection here. Invert. Make this nice and dark since her hair is really dark. Oh my god, you're freaking out, dude. Oh god. I just realized I have to cut out the inside part. Hold on. Let's see. Wait, did I do this all in one layer too? I did, didn't I? Alright, let's take that back. And we're gonna do this. And I think what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna throw most of it behind it for now. And then I can go over top here. Yeah, she needs some more line work there that I completely missed where the hairline is. So we'll get that kind of filled in just so I know where to start when I come back. Alright, I think this is looking pretty good so far. Let's go ahead and we'll fill in her eyebrows as well here. Alright, I feel like we have a pretty good start here. Do you like how it's looking so far, Jupiter? Like, I just want to make sure you're cool with what we're doing here with your character. Save that. Let's get the lines in here. Oops. That's not what I wanted at all. That. Let's take a look at our rule of thirds here. Looks like that's doing okay so far. All right, I think that's gonna do it for today. Like I said, I'm getting pretty fatigued here, and I don't want to do any start slacking in any areas, and lose some of the what makes the character cool and that kind of thing. So yeah, let me go ahead and throw you guys in the lobby here.